if it's not my wife or girlfriend or sister, I'm not going to protect her. If I'm fighting to get an A or a B or a C out the class, and get someone else is fighting to get an A or a B or a C out the class, and happen to be a girl, I'm not looking at her as a feminine person. I'm looking at her as a competitor, just like she's looking at me as a competitor. So it's not that feminine thing is and masculine thing is gone out the window at that point from 8, 9, and 10.
How does this relate? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. 8, 9, and 10. All right. Welcome, 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 welcome in. I see that there are 15 people already waiting, so I'm going to let you all come in. We do have Chris on the line who's going to be giving us his perspective. He's going to be giving us the perspective from a man's point of view who says that there's a lot deeper than many of us know. Listen, I am Tanya TKO. I'm your host. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a life coach from TanyaTKO.com. I wrote the book of affirmations, Self-Love, and this book helps you reattune yourself for self-love, especially since we're talking about people not really having the guidance to be able to get them to where it is that they need to be viable human beings who are contributors to their society and living in their best, fullest life. So welcome back to the broadcast. This is my book. It's available on Amazon right now. The links are below. And thank you to the people who have sent the Cash Apps and the PayPals through. Thank you, Jamaica Hayes. I'll give you another thank you when everybody comes back in. The numbers are jumping up. When you come in, give the thumbs up, and we're going to jump right into the topic. Our last broadcast, we were talking about cuties. We were talking about the movie with the young girls who were out there twerking and dancing and carrying on. Is, you know, it's a coming of age film with young girls who are trying to make sense of their lives and where they fit in it, where the feminine fits in today's society. So we do have a young man on the line by the name of Chris, and Chris says that it's a lot deeper than we have been diving into. So Chris, what's your thoughts on everything that we've been talking about?
Well, you know, I do think, and I do agree with you that kids are socialized at a young age to pretty much seek the things that they seek and the things that they value. Mm-hmm. And so the last conversation that you mentioned, you talked about, you know, the girl being protected and men saying, oh, well, if it's not my wife or girlfriend or sister, I'm not going to protect her.
Right.
Which, you know, I do feel that's problematic. I do feel that's problematic. However, that comes from the same socialization that you were speaking of. It comes from the socialization in the classroom early on to put boys and girls against each other in competition as far as who gets the best grades, who's going to be the valedictorian, who's going to sit here, who's going to sit there. So boys and girls there's not a feminine, masculine role, adolescent role that they have. They actually still view each other as competitors. So a boy is not going to look at a girl that he does not know as someone to help out, just like a girl is not going to look at a guy that she does not know as someone to help out in a dire situation. Now, one thing that in my life, I actually had the opportunity to help women on the street that I did not know. And one thing that was very amazing to me when I told other women about these situations that actually put my life in danger, all the women who I talked to said, you know what, you should have mind your own business because you do not know what happened in that particular situation to bring those two people there. And I had to sit back and think about that. I said, well, I mean, I am putting myself in danger. So why should I? And then people say, you know, you could get yourself killed in going into domestic violence situations. And every woman that I talked to said,
before we went to the break, you were talking about boys losing their virginity to girls who are 2 or 3 years older than them. So let's talk about society as a whole, because when we start getting into anecdotal evidence is not evidence. So let's jump.
Okay, so let's go to that though. Yeah. Okay, so there's a competition when you mentioned that. But okay, so yeah, most boys are losing their virginity to girls. They're not losing the virginity to the girls their same age. Most boys are losing, if 12 years old, that girl that they're sleeping with is 15 or 16, 17. If they're 16, that girl is a little older. They don't start losing their virginity to people the same age until they get later in the teen years. But most boys actually do lose their virginity to older girls. And what happens, and this is true too, a lot of younger girls, they look up to those older guys, and those older guys are too far advanced for them. High school is a terrible place. You have a 14-year-old person with a 17, 18-year-old person. It's a terrible place to have hormones going haywire and people in be such close proximity. That's pretty much where we are, and that is a problem. That is a huge problem. I went to an all-boys school, and when I transferred to a co-ed school, it was a total different animal. Those girls, it was girls at my school who had grown men coming to pick them up from school. Grown men. And they wasn't even looking for the boys their age, you know? And so, but this is the thing. That also shows the boys, okay, I can't deal with the girls my age. I'm going to look for girls younger than me. And so it's a slippery slope that we are pretty much thrust into, because look, our parents are working all the time. They're not teaching us anything. All the parents are scared to have the conversation about sex. So we just left out here to pretty much fend for ourselves and make mistakes. And hopefully most people make mistakes. They don't get pregnant with STDs. If they do get an STD, they go into the clinic unbeknownst to their parents to get cleansed up. So
all right,
this thing is a little.
So let's dive into some things, and then we'll circle back around, right?
Okay.
So in high school, grown men picking up high school girls is, how do we put this? These are pedophiles? I mean, if these are grown men coming to an area where the girls are 14 to 17, these are predators. These are predators. These are predators who have souped up these girls' minds into thinking that they're young but ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So listen, hold on. That's my statement. Let's circle back around.
Yeah.
Let's circle back around to, so boys and girls are pit against one another by the teachers in terms of who's going to get better grades. That part I didn't really understand how that related to sex and sexuality.
Because this is the thing. It creates competition with each other. It creates competition.
The teachers are creating competition.
Say it again. The grades create competition.
The teachers are creating competition between the students.
No, not the teachers. Just the environment of how the classroom is set up. It's them saying it. Well, at least in the schools I went to, very competitive schools. So if I'm trying to get an A or a B or a C out the class, and then someone else is trying to get an A or a B or a C out the class, and that happens to be a girl, I'm not looking at her as a feminine person. I'm looking at her as a competitor, just like she's looking at me as a competitor. So it's not that feminine thing and masculine thing is going out the window at that point from 8, 9, and 10.
How does this relate? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. 8, 9, and 10. Ain't nobody thinking about sex. So you're not a sexual being.
The competition, though. The competition, right? We're not thinking. Well, actually, kids do think about sex at that age, but the competition is there at that age. So if I'm looking at it as a girl, only thing she is a girl, but I'm competing with her. We playing against each other. It's no boundaries. There's no boundaries. So then once I started getting hormones, and we started getting hormones with each about natural hormones, it's a competition. It's not it's no nurturing and we're friends and intimate. It's a whole competition to see, can I sleep with you?
So you're saying because, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand. You're saying because in the schools, because the kids are competing for grades, then the moment that the boys' balls start fibrillating, then all of a sudden they're like, let me F your daughter and toss her aside because she's my competitor.
No, not that boy, the older boy. You like I said, this is deep. The older boys are now. The older boy is looking at her as someone to misuse.
Because she got better grades than him when she was 9? So because she got better grades when she was 9, now all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to use my dick as a weapon.
No, I think you're not relating the entire thing. You're not relating what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you talked about socialization earlier, as far as when a girl's 2 and 3 years old getting dolls and kitchenette sets.
Yes.
That is to socialize her for a period when she gets older.
Right.
Okay, so that's what you said. I brought it back to a young age with a competition between boys. So the example you used was the kitchenette and becoming mothers.
Okay.
The example I'm using is the competitive between the sexes at such a young age. There's no boundaries. And then when they become older, it's about competition.
Okay. So boys who get better grades, then they're like, I'm gonna fuck you in your ass because you got better grades than me. We're competitors.
No, not at all. What I'm saying is that no, you like I said, you don't understand. And now I'm going to screw your ass and put my dick in. What they saying is that they do want to screw you. So your feelings, as far as use your words. You said that girls are looking to a husband material, or whatever you said, like the husband material, right? They look for husband material. The boy is not looking for that. So it's a competition. He's saying, okay, you're looking for a husband material. I'm not looking for that. So that's where the competition starts. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because okay. I'm just using your example.
Okay. No, listen, thank you so much. So one other thing. So let's do our survey. Let's jump into a quick survey. This is a new broadcast, so we're going to do a new survey. Let's do number 1 first. If you were on the last broadcast and came over here, put up a number 1. I want to see the people who came over. I want to see that. And then we're going to talk about older boys, and we're going to talk about boys and older girls, right? Is it a reality that, welcome in from the other broadcast. So older boys, so boys with older girls, we're going to do 2 and 3, right? So 2 and 3. If you believe that most boys, if you know for a fact, if you have example of a majority of boys that you know losing their virginity to older girls, right? Put up the number 2. If you are not sure of that, or you don't know, or you don't think that's the case, put up the number 3. I want to see. So older girls, yes. You're not sure, or let's say younger girls is 3. So, okay. So I say it's about half and half. Mm-hmm. So we're getting 2s, and we're getting, it looks like the 3s are starting to win. So what do we say about this? What's going on out there? That's what I'm saying. It seems like you're trying to make fun of me when I kind of broke it down early on, how this starts early, but this is the real thing out here, that boys don't look at girls as someone to treasure and cherish, because it's always a competition, and that starts early on. That's pretty much what I'm saying. I'm sorry, we're conflating 2 different issues, right?
No, it's the same issue. It's the same issue.
We're conflating 2 different issues. One, we're talking about, so how does older girls, if the girls are getting better grades than them, that means that they're in the same grade as the girl. So where are the older girls now coming in? These are 2 different issues.
Right. Now, I didn't say that the boys was losing their virginity to the girls in their classroom.
Right, but you said that they're in the classroom where the girls are getting better grades. If they're not getting better grades in the classroom, then they're in a different class. They're older. So this is what I'm saying. These are 2 different issues that we're conflating.
No, it's the same issue. The reason why it's the same issue is because they're in the same schools.
So you're saying somebody else, so you're saying somebody else in a different class is now your competitor?
The someone else. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. The competition. The girls that they interact with most are in their class.
So
right. So that's how they. So that's how they know that's how they interact with each other, because the girls are in their class, right? But the girls and that's where the competition. But the girls that they are losing their virginity to are older girls.
So these are two different issues, because these are not girls in their class.
Okay, so the reason why it's the same issue is because when those boys become older, okay, when those boys become older, they are going to look at the younger girls and deal with those girls as raw meat. Because
the older girls or the younger girls?
Say it again.
The older girls or the younger girls? Who's the raw meat?
The raw meat is going to be the younger girls. When these boys that's 14, okay, become 17, they gonna look at the younger girls that's 14 as raw meat.
Because
it's a huge, it's a huge cycle. Because look, the girls, the competition is between the boys and the girls in the same class. So the boys and girls don't have any boundaries. So that boy is not looking at that girl as someone to cherish.
So you're So you're saying there's something mentally going on with a boy, so that so are the girls getting better grades? So they're like, oh, now there's no boundaries because you got better grades?
The grade, okay. The grade is just a byproduct of what I'm saying. The grade is a competition. The grades are one form of competition. We can talk about essay scholarships. We can talk about job opportunities. I'm saying boys and girls are competing with each other on everything.
Okay.
It's not just grades. I just used an example of grades. It's not just grades. It's working at McDonald's. It's boys and girls are constantly competing. So then, here, let me show you this. Let me make this example. Boys and girls are constantly competing. But then, check this out. When those same boys become 25 and 27 and 30, guess what women are saying? Man, this guy I'm dating, he's so insecure. He's always competing against me when I get more money than him. This starts early.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that this is one of the sicknesses of boys. It's a sickness of male nature. That a male is interpreting it as competition, and now internalizing it, using his penis as a weapon, harboring some stuff from early on, and when he was 8 years old. Now he's like, I'm going to F you women mercilessly, because when I was 8, there was no boundaries and we were in competition with each other. I think this is a sickness that exists in the nature of men, that he's interpreting this as some sort of competition, and therefore living it as if it's some sort of competition, and increasing his quote unquote body count because of some aggression he's hopped up on from his own warped mentality.
However way you want to frame it, right? However way you want to frame it. Consider this: the majority of educators are women. So, however you want to frame it, then it's an issue. It's an issue.
Okay.
However you want to put it in a box, you know what I'm saying? Well, if it's the men, if it's the boys, well, the whole thing is that there is a huge cycle of younger boys using their virginity to older girls. It's a huge cycle of the younger girls losing their virginity to older boys. And none of these people are caring about each other. They're not making these choices as, oh, this is going to be a long-term relationship. This is actually going to just be someone to get a nut and an orgasm off, and that's it. It's not just one-sided.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is what we're talking about right? The pathology of it doesn't add up, because 70% of women have never had an orgasm. If there's an older girl who is attempting to have intercourse with a younger boy, she's not doing it because she's looking for an orgasm. And the younger girls who are having intercourse with these older boys, the girl is not doing it because she's looking for an orgasm. So there's some other stuff going on that has nothing to do with female pleasure, and I think has a great deal to do with attempting to find some viability in a world that we have been told is a man's world. So there's something else going on.
You're 100% correct, but that's still not stopping women from sleeping with men. You see what I'm saying? Listen, you're 100% correct.
Women and men and girls and boys are different things.
Women, girls, it's not stopping women and girls. It's not stopping girls seeking validation from men.
Right, but see now, this is what we're talking about now. So on the one hand, we're talking about girls seeking validation while men are seeking conquering. So the competition and the conquering, I'm conquering this girl's body while she's looking for some love and validation. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you. You just helped improve my point. Thank you. All right, so listen, phone lines are open. We're talking about girls being sent out there to the slaughter. Oh, make sure listen, I'm going to bring you on. I'm going to bring you on the line. Make sure that your computer is down and that you're ready to talk when I come back to you. So listen. You see, most of this was made up in men's heads. The girls are out there just living their lives, getting their grades, while the boys are like, oh, it's a competition. There's no holds barred, no boundaries. And then once their little berries start fibrulating around down there in their pants, then all of a sudden they want to start using their penis as a weapon. Unbelievable. All right, you're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
My name is Margot.
Save me, Margot. Please come on my line and make some sense over here, please.
Okay, I will try.
Thank you for watching. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, make sure that you subscribe, and hit the bell notifications to be notified of new videos. Leave a comment below, share the video, and come over to TanyaTKO.com to subscribe to my personal mailing list and drop me a message of a viral story that you'd like for me to cover. See you on the other side. Peace.